Hey everyone, Couch Investor back on our earnings video for today. So we're starting the evening with Intel. We're going to go into Enphase later on and then Amazon as well. Now, Intel surprisingly did pretty well. I mean, we knew that the numbers this quarter, based on what management has told us in recent weeks and months, that they're probably going to beat their own expectations. What we didn't know was guidance. And here, guidance again beat the market's expectation. And so the stock currently is getting rewarded. It's up around 5 to 6% after hours. Now, during the call, things can be said, just like with Meta, stock was up 4 to 5%. Then the call ended, the stock went down 4% because they used the word softness, even though those calculations were already made for the outlook, which also beat expectations. But hey, we are in a weird environment right now, so that's just the game we have to play. Now, with regards to Intel, they beat top and bottom estimates, so let's jump right into this. I'll first start with a couple of comments from the CEO and the CFO. So Pat says here, we delivered a standout third quarter underscored by across-the-board progress on our process and product roadmaps, agreements with new foundry customers, and momentum as we bring AI everywhere. We continue to make meaningful progress on our IDM 2.0 transformation by relentlessly advancing our strategy, rebuilding our execution engine, and delivering on our commitments to our customers. As for the CFO, our results exceeded expectations for the third consecutive quarter, with revenue above the high end of our guidance and EPS benefiting from strong operating leverage and expense discipline. As demonstrated by our recent portfolio actions, we are highly focused on being great allocators of our owners' capital and unlocking value for shareholders. Now, with regards to the business highlights, they do talk here about a couple of wins when it comes to early IFS customers, with a major customer committing to Intel 18A and 18.3. We still don't know who that is. Maybe they'll say something in the earnings call, but I doubt such an announcement is going to be made during an earnings call. But here are a couple of wins you can see: Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Dell Technologies, Deloitte, Samsung, Stability AI, Synopsys, and then of course we talked about Tower Semiconductor. As for the milestones, let's see if we get some information with regards to Gaudi. I think we have one right here. So recognized by ML Commons, which published MLPerf performance benchmark data showing competitive performance for AI inference across Intel Gaudi 2 accelerators, 4th-gen Intel Xeon scalable processors, and Intel Xeon CPU Max series. Okay, now maybe during the call they'll tell us more about Gaudi 2, but for now, this is everything you need to know. If you want to pause the video, go ahead. Now, if you've been following the semiconductor industry, you've probably heard the rumor that Nvidia will work with ARM to come out with their own CPU, which is rumored to come out 2025-2026. Now, of course, Nvidia, huge player when it comes to GPUs. If they will come out with their own CPUs in 2 to 3 years' time with ARM architecture, could that pose a threat to Intel? 100%. But for now, there's no 100% confirmation. But if you hear this rumor from a couple of sources, then probably there's something to it. Now, that said, they are great creating GPUs. Let's see what happens with the CPU. Of course, it's not going to be absolute garbage because it's Nvidia. They know how to make chips. But let's wait and see. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. But to me, Intel right now, I think the future of Intel is of course still chips, chip making, whether it's CPU for data centers, you name it. I think the long-term thesis right now, especially with all the effort that's been put in it, is Intel becoming a huge foundry player. So hopefully by the time, if this is true, by the time Nvidia does come out with their own CPU, maybe they like to work with Intel. Who knows? Remains to be seen, but I think if the story works out, I think Intel will become a huge foundry player, especially since it's an American company. You have to rely a bit less on maybe Taiwan Semiconductor, maybe Samsung. But hey, all of them are definitely going to invest a lot more outside of Taiwan, outside of Southeast Asia, more into Europe, into the United States, because, well, we really have no other option. Now, before we jump into the numbers, if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if not. Really close to reaching 30,000 subscribers, so thank you very much for all the support. And if you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Now, Intel being up right now actually 6.3% after hours. If you remember from Sunday's videos, the projections, the estimates for Intel going forward, I mean, this year we're down 16% when it comes to overall sales, but next year is expected to grow 12% and then another 9% or so in 2025. These numbers will definitely get updated as we get more and more positive quarters from Intel, but this is basically the picture that you're getting right now. Forward PE of 27.1 times. It's definitely going to come down a little bit after this report and the guidance, but EPS expectations, you can clearly see next year, all the analysts are basically projecting this to become much better, growing 172%, and then in fiscal year 2025, another 45%. So all good. So let's jump into that report. Revenue came in at $14.2 billion. That's still down 8% year over year, but it is $0.8 billion above the July outlook. For gross margins, same story there, came in at 45.8%, but that's up 2.8 percentage points above July outlook. As for EPS, we're up 11% year over year and 21 cents above the July outlook. As for CCG, Client Computing Group, revenue still down 3% year over year. Operating income is up 43% with an operating margin of 26%. So you're slowly but surely seeing the much needed improvement with regards to this segment. As for Data Center and AI Group, revenue is down 10%, but operating income here yet again is up 151% with an operating margin of just 2%. And with regards, by the way, to the Client Computing Group, this number here, $7.9 billion, is up from $6.8 billion last quarter. As for Data Center and AI, unfortunately, that one is still down quarter over quarter. Last quarter was $4 billion, now just $3.8 billion. As for Next, we're down revenue-wise 32% to $1.5 billion. Operating income is down 91%. Now, if we go and look at Intel Foundry Services, we see revenue has jumped tremendously. It's up 299% year over year on higher packaging and IMS tool sales. So quite a nice jump. Operating income still negative with a margin of a loss here, actually 28%. With regards to Mobileye, we're up 18% year over year to $530 million. That's also up quarter over quarter with an operating margin of 32%. And then Outlook here, $14.6 to $15.6 billion. So revenue is expected to be up approximately 8% year over year. Gross margin 46.5%, that's up 2.7 percentage points year over year. EPS of 44 cents, a huge jump from last year, 193% growth year over year. So they're definitely on the right track. And so if we go and look at the graph, of course, currently this week has been horrible, of course, with the rumors of Nvidia ARM working together that added to the pressure here. But right now we're back over that 200-day moving average and back to where the week actually started at around $34, $35 or so. RSI is still pretty neutral. Again, it remains to be seen what gets said during the earnings call. I definitely put it in the pinned comment if it's something that drastically changes the way the stock is reacting. But currently, hey, a good quarter by Intel, exceeding expectations. Guidance was good as well. This is what I like to see. Under promise, over deliver. In the past, we've seen not just Intel, many other companies overpromise, underdeliver, and we're definitely not in an environment where a company can or has that luxury to screw this up. I mean, we've seen Meta, we've seen Google, good numbers, one little slip up, stock gets punished extremely hard. But right now, all good for Intel, definitely something good for the other semiconductor players out there, AMD, Nvidia, all yet to report. So that will be it for this video. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. Check out the next video. It's probably going to be about Enphase and then Amazon. You can find all the other videos in the top right corner. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.